What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Skeleton Closet, where we talk celebrity news and hot topics. And this morning we are talking about Ellen DeGeneres because she has officially announced that she is ending her talk show after being on air for years. So let's get into the video.
I'm gonna just run down my shout outs.
This morning, Ellen DeGeneres spoke with The Hollywood Reporter and exclusively told them that she was ending her talk show because she needed something new to challenge me. She says that she wanted to step away from the show because the show had just been on for a very long time and she needed something to just spark her creative juices, I'm guessing. Now, in this story, The Hollywood Reporter asked her about everything, whether or not the allegations of her bullying and workplace misconduct had something to do with the show ending in 2022. And she basically denied that. She said that she actually wanted to end the show way before this, and the networks and the affiliates did not let her, I'm guessing because of ad revenue money. You remember in my previous video, I said that looks like the show may be ending basically just because of the ratings. And now, since the ratings aren't what they used to be, she has no reason to fight for the show, or they might be actually asking her to step away from the show now. So it's crazy how, 2 seasons ago, they were begging for her to stay on air, but now they want her to end the show, or they're letting her sign off from the show. So that just goes to show and let you know that Hollywood show business is a very fickle world. If your ducks are not in the row, if you don't have the numbers, if you don't have the right people in your corner, you can be out without a job without notice. But luckily, Ellen DeGeneres has been doing this for a very long time, and they let her step away from the show in 2022, so she has plenty of time to get her things in order, reach out to agents, networks, whether or not she wants to do movies, whatever the case may be. But we're gonna go through this story and see exactly what she has to say about her show ending and what she plans on doing next. It says that the decision was left to Ellen, and she also added that it was several years in the making. She told her staff yesterday of the news, and they are going to sit down with Oprah Winfrey to discuss the news on tomorrow's show. They'll be able to discuss the ending of her show. It'll be kind of interesting to talk with Oprah Winfrey about this because she's also had a talk show, and I'm sure they'll be able to draw parallels and talk about each other's experiences, and it'll be great for the audience to have on the show with her at the same time. That'll be good for ratings. A lot of people love Oprah, and a lot of people will tune in to hear what they have to say about the show ending. Now, she told The Hollywood Reporter, when you're a creative person, you constantly need to be challenged. And as great as this show is and as fun as it is, it's just not a challenge anymore when discussing the move publicly for the first time. Now, this is the first time that Ellen has spoken about the show ending. Initially, the only thing she had mentioned about her show and the toxicity at her show was months ago when she came back from a hiatus and talked about the allegations that were surrounding her show and how she planned on being better. Now, I initially did a video on this when we learned of her ratings plummeting, and I stated that it might be the end of the show. Now, it looks like it is the end of the show, just not this year, but in 2022. And she is saying that the bullying allegations had nothing to do with this. And I feel safe in saying that the bullying allegations definitely contribute to her wanting to end the show. This is something that basically rocked her world. I'm sure the workplace environment is not the same. She basically has to walk on eggshells. Not that she did anything personally, but I think she had to walk around and be more cautious about what was going on around her. And that is basically what she's alluding to in this. She wasn't able to be creative as much as she wanted to be. She wasn't able to be as fun as she wanted to be because now the workplace environment is completely different from when she started. So on top of her doing this for a very long time and becoming comfortable, the allegations that rocked the workplace environment of the Ellen show last year basically changed the format of the show and her relationships with the people at the show. And I'm sure it changed the relationships of the people working on the show as well. So it'll be interesting to see what her and Oprah have to talk about with the show ending. But this is definitely not the first time Ellen has considered this. In this story on The Hollywood Reporter, it says, in 2018, New York Times profile revealed that her actress wife, Portia de Rossi, who was also a star on the hit show Scandal, one of my favorite shows, had been encouraging her to move on from the 180 shows a year gig, while her comedian brother, along with executive Warner Bros., had urged her to continue. In the end, Degeneres signed on for 3 more seasons, but was clear with herself and her team that this contract, which would take her well beyond 3,000 shows and a stunning 2,400 celebrity interviews, would be her last. So she says that she already had this in the making and the bullying allegations had nothing to do with it. I'm saying that the bullying allegations made her want to do it even more, okay? Although all good things must come to an end, you still have hope that truly great things never will. TV president Mike Darnell. As well, another Warner Brothers executive spoke with the Hollywood Reporter and said that it was the hardest show we've ever had to launch in history of our company. And I'm guessing because of around the time when Ellen came out is when her show started to air. He's saying that it was the hardest show to get off the ground because of Ellen's sexuality and her coming out on her sitcom in 1997. So basically, after she came out on her sitcom, it was pretty unheard of for a celebrity to talk about their sexuality, let alone be gay in the TV industry, especially on a sitcom. After her shopping around for a TV show, a daytime TV show, I can definitely see how that could be one of the hardest shows to get off the ground. Basically, during that time, you just don't know what the viewership is okay with. You don't know what people want to see. You don't know what the format of the show is going to be because there hasn't been a formula for a lesbian woman on daytime television. So I can definitely understand that. I only hope and I pray that this won't be the last. I hope that maybe Warner Brothers or ABC or CBS, one of these networks are able to come up with a format for the LGBTQ community so that there's a show for that demographic. I think it would be great and a lot of money for these TV networks to invest in a show like that. I always had the idea of having a gay show similar to The View or similar to The Talk, but definitely more controversial like The View because I feel like it would be very, very, very entertaining. Not just gay, but possibly something that is very diverse within the LGBTQ community. I think that would be great. Maybe even a variety show at night. I think that would be very interesting and very fun. It's something that is worth exploring. If I was a TV executive in today's time, I would definitely try and hop on that because that would be a moneymaker. There are a lot of different companies that are using LGBT people in their campaigns, on their billboards, within their companies. So now is not the time to try and shy away from this. I think it would be a great investment for the network. It might even be one of the greatest shows ever. Now, as I alluded to earlier, Ellen DeGeneres talked about the toxic workplace environment allegations that happened or was alleged in July in the BuzzFeed News expose that was detailing all of the scandalous allegations of people being mistreated on this set and around Ellen without her knowing. She says that she was destroyed by the allegations that she learned about in the news. She said that she had never heard or anyone had ever mentioned these things to her, and the first time that she heard about it was reading the press. And I did forget to mention that Ellen did speak on the allegations of a toxic workplace and the bullying allegations and the things that were going on. The reporter asked her about the allegations and she mentioned that it impacted the show, and the reporter asked her, what do you mean? Were there moments in there where you thought, I don't want to come back to this? She says, yeah, it was 4 solid months, and you have to understand, in that time, someone got into our house and robbed us, and I lost 4 animals. 3 cats and a dog died. It was a tsunami. When it started with that stupid someone couldn't look me in the eye or whatever the first thing was, it's like a crest of a wave. Like, this isn't going to be that big of a wave. Then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger until it was out of control. And I honestly felt like I don't deserve this. I don't need this. I know who I am. I'm a good person. And I was sitting back going, if I was someone watching this, I would think, well, there has to be some truth to it because it's not stopping. Of course, they're going to believe this because I'm not addressing it, because I was told not to. And you can imagine what it felt like, and it's a lot to live up to. I started saying, be kind to one another, because I really believe people should be kind to one another. And so it was easy to clickbait and say, oh, the be kind lady isn't so kind. I am kind. I'm also a woman, and I'm a boss. And I can definitely see Hollywood executives telling Ellen to not mention or say anything about what was going on around the show and the things that people were saying about the show, and how difficult that must have been, especially considering what else was going on in her personal life. But it is good to hear her speak candidly about this and to know what her mindset was and what kind of place she was in when she was learning of all of these allegations. Now, when she opened her season 18 in September, she basically made an apology announcement telling everybody about what was going on. She apologized, and she says that, I learned that things happen here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously, and I want to say I am so sorry to the people who were affected. Now, a lot of people tuned into this apology because people wanted to know what Ellen was going to say. They wanted to know how she was going to explain this, or what was going to be the reasoning behind it. And her viewers, her ratings were through the roof. However, after that, people just tuned out. I don't know if it had anything to do with the fact that they didn't believe her, or whether or not they were just over the show, or they felt like since the coronavirus and she didn't have a studio audience, it just wasn't that engaging. One of the big parts of Ellen's show, and a lot of TV shows today, is the studio audience. And I think executive and producers have noticed this, because the engagement from the studio audience is what helps the talent or the talk show hosts be able to gauge how they should move forward. It's kind of like a built-in adrenaline rush. It's kind of like a boost of endorphins constantly. The clapping, the engagement, the silence, the laughing. It's really good for the host to know how they should move forward throughout the show. It's really good to have that engagement. It's really good to have that chemistry, because it fuels the talent and they're able to do their job better. That definitely translates through the camera, and people at home watching can definitely notice that. Now, another reason might be that Ellen's show is greatly surrounded around her studio audience. The people that are in the audience are pretty much part of talent as well, because she does giveaways, she does games. It's very entertaining and it's very interactive. So she and the producers had to completely revamp the show to keep it that way. And everything being virtual nowadays is so hard. And possibly, had the coronavirus not happened, her viewership might have been better continuing throughout. And you can't say that the coronavirus was the sole reason for this, or that this is the reason why her ratings were bad, because shows like The View had some of the greatest viewers, had some of the greatest ratings since they've been on air. Okay, The View continuously to do well season after season, even during a global pandemic. Now, she talks about her future in this story as well, whether or not she was going to do stand-up and what she plans on doing next. The reporter asked her, as you think about your future, we've seen you return to stand-up. We've also seen you hosting and narrating and producing. What will this move free you up to do that you haven't had time to do? She says, look, I don't even know the answer. I've been trying to think about that. I have some ideas, but my agent is like, why don't you just sit still for a minute? Which would be great for her. She has a lot of money. She doesn't need to just jump into work. I think it would be great for her to rest, just to have fun. She has a lot of conservation work that she could do. She talks about this in the answer I'm going to get to in a minute. But it'll be great for her just to relax, have fun, live her life, be with her wife, and do things that make her happy. She says her agent told her, you probably don't even know how exhausted you are and what it's going to be like to sit still. And I don't know how long I'll be able to do that, because I'm like a Ferrari in neutral. I'm constantly needing to go. So that's my first challenge. And then I'm going to figure it out. I wouldn't have thought I was ever going to do a talk show when I stopped doing movies and sitcoms. I thought that was the only path. And then all of a sudden, there was a talk show that took me on this 19-year journey. She continues, sit still for a bit does not sound like the advice of a Hollywood agent. She says, if you're going to have an agent, which her agent is Eddie Yablans, is a good one to have. He cares tremendously about me first and foremost, and money and career second, which is very rare. I would completely agree with that, because Hollywood agents make their money by making their clients work, no matter what the job is, whether how happy they are or how sad they are. So it is good to know that she has a good agent behind her. I'm not sure if this is the agent that she's had for 19 years while on the Ellen show, but this is a great client to have. Shout out to Eddie for having Ellen as a client, because baby, I'm sure he has made plenty of money working with Ellen, and I'm sure his bank account is very, very thankful for Ellen as well. Now, she says on whether or not she will return to sitcoms and movies, she says, a sitcom seems like a walk in the park compared to this. 180 shows a year. I don't know if that's really what I want to do next, but movies for sure. If there were a role I'd be able to do, which I'm not able to do now, I'm opening up my campus in Rwanda next year, and I want to be more involved with conservation and everything that matters to me as far as the environment and animals. So that'll be great for her to continue her humanitarian work, her conservation work. I know that some people absolutely adore Ellen, and they don't want to see the day where she's not on television. I know some people watch Ellen DeGeneres religiously, similar to the people that watch The View. So this is definitely going to be a heavy hit for a lot of people that are absolutely in love with Ellen DeGeneres. But 19 years is a very long time. 19 years to be doing the same job is a very, very, very long time. So I can totally understand why she's over it and why she wants to do something that would bring her joy. And that's basically how you got to look at it. It's something that she's been doing for a very long time. It probably became to be very mundane. She probably couldn't think of the jokes anymore. It probably just got kind of boring and fell flat. But as she wraps up this interview, she talks about what she's going to miss the most and the least about the platform. She says, I will not miss hair and makeup every day. I'm not someone who loves to sit in a chair and have that done. And I will not miss fittings. If you gain 1 pound, the pants don't fit you the way that they did 2 weeks ago. So that doesn't feel good to have fittings. Those are the things I won't miss. I'll miss everything else. Listen, this is my family. They've become my best friends. I come to work and I laugh every single day. We create stuff that's sometimes just funny to us, and it's not exactly mass appeal. But I don't care, because it's stuff that's dry and quiet, and it's humor, and it's my humor. And, you know, I've tried to stay true to who I am and what my brand is. This all became bigger than I ever could have dreamed of. I'm not the pretty girl who made it in Hollywood because of the way I looked. I worked from nothing of doing stand-up to having this career, and I'm so proud of this show. It's the best thing I've ever done in my life, and so I'll miss everything, but in my gut, I know it's time to do something different. So like I said, it's been 19 years. I'm pretty sure Ellen is very, very elated, and it feels like a weight lifted off of her, and she's probably very grateful for the opportunity that Warner Brothers has given her and this Ellen show and what the Ellen show has given her. So I'm pretty sure she's thankful, but also very, very happy to see this end. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Love to read your comments about this whole situation. Do you think that the toxic workplace allegations had more to do with Ellen ending her show than she's leading on? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button so that I can know how you felt about today's video, but also so that you can help me get it pushed through in the algorithm a little bit. Definitely appreciate that. As well, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can join us in the closet and be a part of the family. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.